What's good, everyone? It's Zach, and welcome back to Grailbound Gaming for video pickups number 12. Now, last month, we obviously had a lot of sales going on, especially for Black Friday and Cyber Monday in terms of video games. And there were even sales that were happening like a week or two even prior to Black Friday. So in this video, I just want to showcase everything that I was able to pick up last month. And actually, a bit of this stuff was actually picked up in October as well. Also keep in mind, the reason that I like doing these pickups videos is not to just show you all, hey, look at me, this is what I got. No, the real reason and my primary reason for doing these types of videos is to recommend video games for you to add to your collection. Who knows, right? There may be games that I show today that you've either seen before, there might be games that you've never heard of or only heard a little bit about. And you know, as a content creator on this platform, I feel like it's my duty and responsibility to make sure that I'm updating you all with the deals that you could find out there and the games that you can add to your collection. So if that all sounds great to you, I hope that you're excited to see all of these most recent pickups that I got during the sales. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, everyone, so let's go ahead and get started here. I got a couple of NES games that I do want to show, with the first one being Kickle Cubicle. And this is a really neat puzzle game where you play as Kickle, who has the ability of ice breath, right? So he can turn enemies into ice blocks. He can create ice blocks and pretty much make a bridge out of them if you want to cross water for the stage that you're on. And of course, you want to collect these items, I believe, called dream bags as you advance through the different stages. And there's even bosses and other challenges. So yeah, I'm very happy to have another puzzle type game for the NES collection. I think the only other one that I have prior to this one is Bubble Bobble, so definitely excited about this. All right, next game is Dragon Warrior 2. So glad that I was able to find this for a very affordable price, pretty much market value, but I've seen it to where some of my local retro video game stores have the Dragon Warrior NES games outrageously priced, like far above, you know, the price charting market value, which is the average value. So luckily I was able to find one for the current price charting value of it loose, and here it is. So yeah, now I have Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 in the NES collection. Now this next game is for the DS, and it is a banger. Some people consider this to be a grail for JRPGs because it was originally released on the SNES, and since I don't own an SNES, I've never played it before. So I always wanted to own this game physically and be able to play probably one of the most definitive versions of it, and that game is Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger for the DS. I am so ecstatic to finally have this in the collection, and it is definitely complete. You can see the manual there, you can see the cartridge, but guess what? What really sets this apart, right? What really sets this game apart, especially if you own it for the DS, is if you have the poster. And this came with the poster. So I'm gonna open it up here, just on video, and then of course fold it back up because I do want to preserve it. So let's take a look at it, y'all. Let's take a look at it. Look at that. Wow. Yeah. So the fact that, you know, this version has the poster makes it even more valuable for sure. So I'm definitely happy to have this in the collection. And yeah, you can definitely play this game on Steam on PC. You can play it on the SNES, but from what I understand, this is probably one of the most definitive ways to play the game on console, especially handheld. So yeah, I'm definitely happy to have Chrono Trigger in the collection. All right, next up is one PSP game that's been on my list probably for 2 years now, and that game is The Third Birthday. Now, I do have a digital copy of this game that I bought like years ago off of the PlayStation 3 store, but I've always wanted to own this game, of course, physically in the collection, and it is complete. So happy to have it. This is considered to be the third Parasite Eve game. So if you are into those games, whether you want to play them or collect them, definitely look out for The Third Birthday. And you can for sure still download this game digitally onto your PSP if you just go to the PS3 store. I highly recommend that. But yeah, otherwise I'm definitely happy to have it in the collection for sure. All right, this other game right here is one of the games that I picked up for Black Friday, and It is a PlayStation 3 game, and it is Avatar the game. James Cameron's Avatar the game. So obviously this is based on the first movie, and of course, you know, it's a third-person shooter. Really cool, right? So definitely happy to have this. At one point I did have this in the collection, but the version that I had was pretty worn and very messed up and dirty, even though I tried to clean it. So I was able to, you know, pretty much find it again and add it back to the collection, and that's why I'm showing it in this video. So there we go. All right, now the next 4 games are for the Wii. And I know a lot of people out there are so critical of the Wii, saying, oh, it has shovelware, it's no good, it's horrible. But if you do a very good deep dive into the Wii console, there's some really unique games that you can find for it. Games that for sure easily fly under the radar. And if you are out there collecting for the Wii, I want to put all of these games on your radar for sure. So I have 3 of them here. So let's start off with the first one. The first one's called Defending the Penguin, which is hilarious. And it is complete with the manual and the disc. What's unique about this game, it's pretty much a tower defense strategy game, right? So, you know, you're playing as different penguins, you're defending their hometown. And if I'm reading on the back here, it says you pretty much fend off a variety of hungry animals such as woolly mammoths, seals, snapping turtles, and more, which is awesome. So, you know, in this game, you have different types of ammunition. It's not just snowballs, everyone. Like, you have ice cubes, icicles, frost, and it's a really cool tower defense game. You can kind of see a couple of photos here on the back cover of the case here. But yeah, it's a really cool tower defense game. Very affordable. Like, I got this for $5, so you should find it anywhere from $5 to $8. You can easily find this, but it's one that people pass over because, first of all, if you are going to a video game store and you're walking among the shelves, you're not gonna really notice that small print on the spine. But I highly recommend that you look out for Defending the Penguin. It's one that you don't hear about, one that is affordable and also unique for the Wii. Okay, everyone, so the next Wii game that I have here is called Wing Island. And yes, it is complete with both the manual and the disc. So what is this game about, right? You know, this game is pretty much about a teenager, like a teenage pilot whose family owns an aviation business. And this is one of those games where it's like a mission-based or challenge-based game where you go through a number of set missions, you know, doing all types of tricks, whether that's like aerial acrobatics, or you might be trying to put out a fire, or, you know, see some other things they say too. They say dusting crops, or like stopping, you know, thieves from stealing treasures, and doing different formations by combining multiple planes together and flying. So this is one of those really cool, unique games that you don't really hear a lot about for the Wii, but I was able to look up gameplay. And since I've been getting into aircraft games a bit more recently, this is definitely one that I had to pick up for the Wii. So if you're into those type of games, I highly recommend Wing Island. All right, and the last Wii game here is called Spyborgs. Look at that, Spyborgs. It's also complete with the manual and the disc. And this is a beat 'em up that's exclusive to the Wii. Now, the visuals in this game are actually very impressive for a Wii game. But what I can tell you about it is that it's pretty much a game where you play as these like cybernetic ninjas, and they go through the levels. And of course, there's RPG elements where you get to level up the characters, their attributes, their weapons, abilities, and things like that. And another cool feature about this game is that there are quick time events during battle where you can actually have 2 of your team members essentially do like a huge combo attack. So if you're into beat 'em ups and you want one that's exclusive for the Wii, then definitely look out for Spyborgs. All right, so let's move to the, let's go ahead and move over to the Xbox 360. I only have one game, and it's called a B-Movie Game. Now, it is complete, of course, with the manual and the disc. And, you know, I've never seen this movie before. I know it's like a DreamWorks movie. I've never seen it before. But I did see Metal Jesus Rocks review this game like a few years ago or so, and he recommended this to, you know, his subscribers and viewers, saying that this was definitely a hidden gem for the 360. So it's been on my list for quite a while now because I've always wanted to find it locally and for a very affordable price. and I was able to do that. So yeah, B-movie game, I'm excited to definitely give this a shot for sure too. And at some point I should probably go and actually watch the movie so I know a little bit more about it. All right, next up is a GameCube game, my only GameCube game for this video, and that's International Winter Sports 2002. I saw a video review of this game by GameCube Galaxy, and yeah, it just looked really intriguing with the different, sports that you can compete in, the different winter sports for the Olympics, and definitely happy to have this, of course. All right, now I'm gonna move into a couple of original Xbox games. The first one is called Army Men Major Malfunction. This is a really cool game. If you're familiar with the Army games, right, you play as these little toy characters and these little toy army men. They're usually like green or like khaki or tan, if you will. But in this game, what happens is there are some toys that have malfunctioned, and it's up to you as like a lone soldier to pretty much go in and take down these toys, right? So yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool because they said that you can use flamethrowers, shotguns, in M16s to take on these different toys. And yeah, it's complete, has a manual on disc. You don't hear a lot about this game. Probably the reason because the only way to play this on console in North America is through the OG Xbox. The only other console that this game was released for is the PlayStation 2, but only in the PAL region, right? So those are pretty much the only two ways that you can play, but this is the only way that you can technically play Major Malfunction physically here in the North American region. So since I am, collecting a lot of the OG Xbox exclusives and either semi-exclusives, I definitely had to pick this one up, and I'm happy to have it in the collection now. All right, and the second game is RLH. It stands for Run Like Hell. And yeah, you can see that it is completely sealed, so it's brand new. So yeah, in this game, just like it says in the subtitle here, Hunter be hunted. You're like a lone soldier. You return to your station. Your crew is dead. Now you have to survive whatever enemy is out there, that's going after you and your crew. So it's definitely one of those like action-based survival horror games for sure. And what's cool about it, you can probably see in the corner here, it says it has a soundtrack by Breaking Benjamin. So if you're into rock, then you definitely will know who Breaking Benjamin is. But you don't see things like this. Like this was definitely 6th gen, back in the day where they would like pair, soundtracks with video games, like the standard version of video games. You didn't have to go and buy like a collector's or a limited edition like you do nowadays. But yeah, I was happy to be able to pick this up. I believe I paid $15, which is a steal for this. So happy to have this in the OG Xbox collection. All right, then next I'm gonna move and talk about some PlayStation 2 games. So the first one is called Arthur and the Invisibles, the game. And this is another like kids movie that came out that I had never seen before, but I've seen videos, like video reviews and gameplay of this particular game here, and it just intrigued me enough to get it. It's very cheap. You should be able to get this for like $5 to $8 CIB, which I was able to do here, and I look forward to playing it. It just looked intriguing for me, so yeah. And next game is one that some of you may be familiar with. This is Grim Grimoire, as you can see right here, Grim Grimoire. And it was developed by Vanillaware. If you guys are familiar with Dragon's Crown, 13 Sentinels, there's another one that I'm probably missing out there that came out on the Wii and like the PS Vita. But essentially, yeah, if you're into like the Vanillaware games, if you love the art style, if you love real-time strategy games, you're gonna want to look out for Grim Grimoire. I know that this was released on modern consoles through NIS America, which is really cool, like for the Switch, PS4, PS5, so you can definitely get an updated version there. But if you do want to collect it for the PS2, definitely look out for it, and definitely happy to have it in the collection for the PS2. All right, the next couple games are actually sealed PS2 games that I found during the Black Friday sales. The first one is Mystery Exile. Look at that. I mean, it's just interesting because you never see, or not never, but it's very rare to come across like sealed PS2 games in the wild. And you can see it still has the hang tab right there on the back. So yeah, happy to have this in the collection. And then the other sealed game is A Rise of Kasai, which is the sequel to Mark of Cree, right? So if you never played these games, if you own like a PlayStation 2, I highly recommend getting Mark of Cree and Rise of Kasai. They're really cool, like third-person hack and slash adventure games, and I once again, highly recommend that you do that. But yeah, I think it's cool that you're able to still find PS2 games in the wild, so you cannot go wrong with that. And then the last PlayStation 2 game that I want to show, I was looking at the last pickups video, and I noticed there was some footage that actually got cut out of what was uploaded to the channel. And even though I showed this game at the very end in my outro, I didn't have that footage, or that footage got cut out. So I want to talk about this a little bit. I spent a whole lot of time, but just mention that I was able to pick this up a little while ago, maybe a month and a half or so ago. But yeah, it's Vampire Knight. This is with the GunCon 2. So finally happy to have this in the collection. Yeah, I mean, I know that there are these type of, big box GunCon 2 versions of the games for Time Crisis. But I just wanted to get the ones that were a bit more obscure. So you can see it definitely has the game in there, right there. It's complete, of course. And then if I do lift it up here, I'm gonna do that. You can see that the gun is right there, right? Really cool. Gun controller. So yeah, I am very happy to finally add this to the collection. And I really think that's pretty much all like the big box GunCon 2 light gun games that I really want to own. It was this one and Ninja Assault. So yeah, happy to have this in the collection. Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna move on to a stack of the Switch games here. And the first few games here I actually got for Black Friday. I believe I made a short mentioning that there were some Switch games, first party title Switch games that were going to be going on sale for pretty much half off, and I made sure to get those, and I'll share everything with you all. In that short, I talked about Nintendo Switch Sports, so here it is again. But aside from that, I was able to pick up Luigi's Mansion 3. This is definitely for my wife. I really want to watch her play through this Luigi Mansion 3 game for sure. I also picked up Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Had to get that because there's like additional content, different levels, different characters you can play as. So definitely had to pick this up. And then I also picked up Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. So yeah, super happy about that because I already owned it for the GameCube. But once again, being able to play it on the Switch and it's updated and everything, I mean, it's gonna be really, really cool. So definitely happy about that. And yeah, those were pretty much the ones that I guess I picked up that were pretty much half off, if you will, from Best Buy. There are some more games here. The next 4, I would say. I was able to get through another Black Friday sale deal at a retro game store. So the first game here is called Rogue Legacy. Right? If you never heard of Rogue Legacy, it's pretty much in the title. It's a roguelike game where you play as a warrior of a certain class, and when you die, you pretty much get replaced by your ancestor. You get replaced by your next family member in line, and you can choose like a different class for them. So instead of a warrior, you might be a mage or something like that. So yeah, this is the first game right here, and I do plan on getting the second game too as well. All right, here's one that some of you may be familiar with, or if not everyone, but it took me a while to get this one because it never dropped in price, and I was able to find a really great deal at another retro video game store. And this is a new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe, right? So now my wife and I are able to play this not only with each other, but with our friends as well. So I'm very happy to have this in the collection now, completely brand new. All right, this next game, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. I need to get the second game, but it's crazy. It's crazy how hard it is to find the very first game. I can't tell you, and it goes for a lot. Luckily, like I said, there was a pretty cool Black Friday sale going on for Switch titles, specifically limited run Switch titles, and that's why I was able to get this game. But aside from that, it's very difficult. So I'm glad to have this in the collection, and I got to make sure that I find the second game. All right, And then the last like limited run Switch game that I picked up is Iconoclast. And it is complete with the manual, of course, in the cartridge. Man, this game has also been on my list probably for, I would say, 4 years. The past 4 years has been on my list to get. And what's unique about this is that you play as a mechanic called Robin, and she pretty much lives in this world that's controlled by this one entity. And let me see what they say what this entity is. I guess they're called one concern agents, right? So this is the entity or the authoritarian of the land that she lives in. And since she's a mechanic, she's only able to use her skills within that land that she lives in. If she uses outside of it, then the one concern agents come after her. So this is a really cool Metroidvania that I've always wanted to own in the collection, and I finally have it now, and I can't wait to play it. It's gonna be really cool. All right, so still going through some more Switch games here. The next one is ARMS. Man, you all know about this game. If you don't, it's a really cool like fighting game, almost like a boxing game, but with like springs on the characters' arms, you can see there. And I've always wanted to own this game. Always wanted to own it, but never wanted to pay like, you know, full retail for it. And I found a pretty good deal through the Black Friday sales to get it. So happy to have that now. All right, next game is a shoot 'em up, a side-scrolling shoot 'em up called Cinemora X. And from what I hear from a lot of people, this is pretty much like a very like really cool shoot 'em up with like a very dark story. And as I was looking on the back here, you know, actually, I'll wait to talk about that, but just know that I'm gonna talk about this game again a little bit later in the video. Anyhow, Cinemora X, side-scrolling shooter. Next up is Sorry We're Closed. This is a game that's pretty much like a callback to survival horror like Silent Hill and Resident Evil. And in this game, you play as Michelle, who is pretty much under the influence of someone else, I'll say, who wants to be in a relationship with her, and she doesn't want to be in a relationship with this person, right? So she has to go around collecting these certain items in order to break that spell or that hold that she has by this other person. But anyhow, that's a very short explanation of what this game is really about. But yeah, Sorry We're Closed. The cover at least looks unique, so happy to have that in the collection. Next up is Death's Door, right, where you play as this crow. So happy about that. Hack and slash, you know, third person adventure game. So that's really cool. By Sweet Carol. I think I talked about this for the PlayStation 5 in my last pickups video, but yeah, I had to get it for the Switch, so here it is. Really cool. All right, here's a cool one. Shantae Advance Risky Revolution. So finally, you know, I guess in addition to getting this on the Game Boy Advance, I also ordered it for the Switch. And yeah, it's a limited run title here. There is an alternate version that's out there, but in all honesty, I feel like this cover art is just so much better than like the limited run 10th anniversary, I think it's called. I could be wrong on that number, but it's for their anniversary they just celebrated. I'm pretty sure it's 10 years. And yeah, this is just a way better cover for sure. So happy to have that in the collection. Next up is a really cool title called Crow Country, right here. And it's a survival horror game that is pretty much a callback to like the 1990 PS1 horror type style video games, which is awesome. So the idea is that there's this theme park called Crow Country, and Mara Forrest, who's the character on the front cover of this game, she ends up like going to this theme park because the creator of the park is missing. He's missing. And of course, when she goes to this abandoned theme park, she runs into, you know, some crazy challenges. So I'm definitely happy to have this in the collection for sure. It's always great to find these like survival horror titles, because this started off as digital only, and finally they were able to make a physical copy for it. So yeah, happy about that. Next up is Absalom. I think I talked about this game in my last pickups video for the PS5, but a really unique beat 'em up game. If you're looking for an awesome experience where you can do some co-op as well, definitely look out for Absalom. Highly recommend that. Ooh, this is probably one of the coolest games that I definitely want to share with you all, and it's called Another Crab's Treasure. Another Crab's Treasure. Now, what is this game? Imagine combining Dark Souls, right? Like the fighting mechanics of Dark Souls with Sebastian from Little Mermaid. And if you combine those two worlds together, essentially you get Another Crab's Treasure. In this game, you play as, what's his name? Krill. You play as Krill. He's a hermit crab, and his shell gets repossessed. So he has to pretty much like track down, his original shell. And of course, being underwater and in the ocean, you're encountering all these different type of aquatic enemies, if you will. You can see on the front cover, he has a can. So throughout the game, you can find different types of like trash that he can use as like a makeshift shell to protect himself and guard himself against enemies. So if you love, Dark Souls games, if you love games with some charm and some humor, I definitely recommend Another Crab's Treasure. What's cool is that as far as the level of difficulty, you can control that, right? If you're a beginner, if you heard about how crazy the Dark Souls games are and that you die over and over and over again, just know that there are different difficulty levels for this game that you can set depending on your expertise with those types of games. So just because it's a Dark Souls game or a Souls-like game, don't, be turned off from trying it out. And I highly recommend this game to you for sure. It has a lot of charm, a lot of amazing humor, and it's just really cool. Expansive world where you're under the ocean. It doesn't get any better than that. So yeah, Another Crab's Treasure. And the last Switch game I have here is Tomb Raider 4 through 6 Remastered. Yeah, I had to pick this up for sure. Could not pass on it. Happy about that. Okay, so now that I've gone through all of the Switch titles, it's now time to move on to PS4 and then finish off with PS5. So the first PS4 game is Cinemore X. I mentioned a little bit earlier that I was going to talk about this game because yes, it is a side-scrolling shooter, but there's some unique information on the back cover that I want to read. It says that the boss designs for this game are by Mahiro Maeda, which is known as one of the most prominent Japanese anime creators. Some of his work includes Blue Submarine No. 6, The Animatrix, The Second Renaissance, and Kill Bill Volume 1. And the music in the shoot 'em up is by Akira Yamaoka, who is the sound director of Silent Hill, or was the sound director of Silent Hill and Shadows of the Dam. So, I mean, you got, a couple of heavy hitters when we're talking about like the boss designs and the music of this game, and the fact that it's a very like mature, dark story for a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. Man, if you've never played this game before, definitely go get it for sure and check it out. All right, the next PS4 game is called Children of Morta. So this is the hack and slash game where you play as different members of the family here, and they are in the the land that they're living in is being overtaken by this evil presence, and they have to pretty much go on this adventure, right? Go on this adventure to protect their land from this ancient evil. So yeah, it's basically an action RPG featuring the family members, and the idea of it just sounded so unique to me. So I can't wait to dive in and play Children of Morta. All right, these next couple games are a part of a franchise. The first one is called Darksiders Genesis. This is the prequel to the first Darksiders game, where you're pretty much introduced to Strife. Yeah, he's one of the horsemen, right? But yeah, you're introduced to him through this game. This is a hack and slash adventure game, maybe similar to Diablo, I've heard some people say, but I definitely want to try it out myself and see how it is. And then I had to pick this up. The first Darksiders game, the War Mastered Edition, right? And you have War, he's one of the horsemen. You're introduced to him in the first game. Now, this is available on the 7th-gen consoles, such as like the PS3 and the 360, but I've gotten rid of those versions and wanted to get what is to believe to be the most definitive version, right? And that's for the PlayStation 4. So happy to have this in the collection. All right, the next PS4 game is called Skull, the Hero Slayer. This is another Metroidvania where you play as this little skull soldier here, and he's pretty much going up against this Imperial army to free the Demon King, which I guess he's a servant of, right? So it is complete. right? Comes with like a little manual here, not a manual, but more like a art book, if you will, that shows the different enemy types. You can kind of see there in the video. Really cool. Yeah, and I just like the purple aesthetic, like the purple black aesthetic of this game. Just looks really amazing. So yeah, can't wait to check this out as well. Then I have a dual pack here that most people are familiar with, Inside and Limbo. Now, I've never played these games, but I know that they're praised a lot. Like, people say that they're very like unique side-scrolling games, and the aesthetic is very dark. The atmosphere is dark. So yeah, definitely wanted to get Inside and Limbo. And I think it came with like a poster card right here, and even a poster, which you can kind of see back there. So it is complete, and can't wait to check that out for sure. All right, now that I've finished off with the PS4 games, it's now time to dive into the PS5 games. First, I want to start off with Hotel Barcelona. Man, a lot of people have been talking about this game, about trying it out and playing it, because basically you're trapped in like a hotel. There's like several serial killers, but the character that you play as, I think she's a detective, I don't know her name. She pretty much has like a second personality, like someone else living inside her head. So she's not only battling her own thoughts, but she's also having to go up and combat all of these different high-profile serial killers, while of course going through the different levels of the hotel. So it just sounded like something that'd be unique. I know a lot of people are talking about it and recommended it, so I definitely had to pick it up for sure. All right, the next game, actually this next game was in the last pickups video, but that footage got cut out, so I wanted to show it here, and that is Stray. Right? If you've been keeping up with the PS5, you should know what Stray is about. If you love cats, if you want to be able to play as a cat in like a futuristic world, like, you know, like cyberpunk type world, then definitely look out for Stray here. And this was the last copy that they had at one of the Walmarts in my area, so I was able to get this for $10, which is really cool. All right, we talked about this earlier, but Crow Country, got it for the Switch, so I had to get it for the PS5. So I was double dipping on that one. Same thing too with Another Craft's Treasure. Had to get it for the PS5, which surprisingly is what I had it originally downloaded as, because this is another title where it was only available digitally, and then they came out with a physical version. Sorry We're Closed, I talked about that earlier. Another really cool title to look for if you're into like the old school retro horror theme. Definitely, I do say, like, for this game, definitely look at some reviews and determine if it's a type of game that you want to play for yourself. I'll put that out there. Ooh, of course, Shantae, Advanced Risky Revolution. Yeah, awesome. The next two PS5 games are part of the series, and I have the first and second game here. So I have Tormented Souls, you can see here, and of course Tormented Souls 2. So now I can pretty much play them back to back, which is awesome. I can play them back to back and enjoy them. This is pretty much a callback to, once again, like old school survival horror games like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, where you're trapped in a mansion or some type of place, and you have to solve puzzles. You have enemies that are coming after you. You have enemies that hide in the dark. So if you enjoy like survival horror video games, if you're looking for some great titles to play, especially for the next spooky season, then definitely check out Tormented Souls 1 and 2. All right, the next PS5 game, yeah, this is a really good one that's well known. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. This is one that I've always wanted to own for the PS5, just so that I could play the definitive version. So happy about that. Spider-Man 2, finally. I've been waiting for this game to drop for probably like the past like couple years, or maybe a year and a half. I've been waiting for this game to drop in price, and finally it did. So I was like, it's now or never, and I'm so happy to have Spider-Man 2 in the collection so that I can play it. All right, then I have Alone in the Dark. This is actually a remake or reimagining of the original game, which came out on the Dreamcast and of course on the original PlayStation. It maybe was available on PC, I'm not sure, but someone in the comments can let me know. But essentially, yeah, this is pretty much a reimagining of the very first Alone in the Dark game. And what's cool is that David Harbour, who you may recognize from Stranger Things as David Hopper, he plays one of the lead characters in the game, Edward Cornby. So if you are a fan of him, you'll be able to see him in this game, which I think is really awesome. So he must have, you know, been a part of the development of this game, maybe in between seasons of Stranger Things, but nonetheless, it's really cool to see that, you know, he's in the game and you can play as him. So yeah, Alone in the Dark, definitely check it out for sure. All right, second to last game, Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered. Now, it's funny that I showed like the remastered version for 4 through 6 in this video, as well as the last video for the PS5. But this has been on back order for quite a while now. I think this came from BGP. I had some other games that I had to wait for to get released before they could ship the entire shipment of games. And this is one of those games that was in there. But yeah, so glad to finally have this in the collection for sure. This is the deluxe version. And what does it come with? It comes with a steelbook, the exploration map pack, and the original soundtrack. So if you don't get the collector's edition, which by the way, if you haven't seen, you can definitely go take a look at my unboxing of the collector's edition for Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered. If you don't get that, then this is probably your second best option to get something a little bit more than just the standard version of the game. So yeah. And then this has been pretty much in the background, so I'm pretty sure a lot of you have been wondering, what is this? Or maybe recognize this. But yeah, spoiler alert, this is Atelier 1, 2, and 3. This is the premium box edition for the deluxe versions of the games. So they basically re-released all the Atelier games with additional content, additional characters, you name it, just a bunch of like extra content that was in Japan that was not released here within the North American region. So I went on ahead and bought the premium box edition, right? So it comes with all 3 games. It comes with, I think like a steel cloth poster. It comes with a soundtrack. And I think there's even something called like Ryza ASMR. ASMR. So it might just be like maybe some recordings of some of her lines within the game. But yeah, look, I mean, just take a look at this, y'all. Really, really cool. A big box premium version. And I don't know, you know, Japanese, but there's of course all the items that it comes with that I just, you know, previously mentioned. But yeah, really, really cool, you know. To be honest, I've been on the fence about picking up this game, and I'm glad that I pretty much stayed on the fence, right? But I wasn't too sure if I should pick it up or not because they released the deluxe version of all these games. And this is pretty much the only way to get these games physically, because otherwise you have to get the digital version. So so whether you choose to get like the premium edition that comes with some of the extra items I mentioned, or you just get the trilogy box set that just comes with all 3 games for the PS5, the PS4, then definitely look out for that for sure. So yeah, this is the last game in this pickups video. Okay everyone, thank you all so much for tuning in today's video where I was able to show you all my most recent pickups, especially from a lot of the sales that went on last month between Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And I know that as we are continuing through the month of December, there's going to be more sales for video games, but I'm pretty much tapped out. Like, this will be the last pickups video for the year of 2025. I just want to say thank you all so much for your support and watching these videos. If this is your first time seeing this video, then I definitely encourage you to subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be more content like this, as well as other different forms of content that you'll be able to watch. So definitely hit that subscribe button, like this video, comment down below, and even make sure that all of your settings for notifications are turned on for this channel. Once again, thank you all so much. Happy holidays, and I'll see you all in 2026. Until then, I'm out.